continued bad news. Okay, yesterday we had this lead anchor of I think CNN IBN who was doing hoorah, hoo-ha about the fastest vaccinations in the world, right? Vaccination speeds in the world, right? That's kind of interesting, right? First of all, let me just tell him that it's not his job to make us feel good. It's his job. It's not his job to be a cheerleader for all of us. We can decide that for ourselves, right? It's not his job to lift our spirits. It's his job to analyze, right? It is his job to tell us the truth. And if it's a bitter pill, as everybody else is saying, the Guardian is saying, India has descended into a COVID hell, folks. And that is what it is. And when he talks about this vaccine, hoo-ha, hoo-ha, you know, when you multiply this whole thing, it takes a year, if the vaccine is available, to get everybody in India one dose. And why would he talk about literal numbers? In India, you cannot benchmark against the speed in the United States. The United States done its first dose for its entire population. Folks, their population is 1/4 our size. Hence, India needs to benchmark with its own population, and the speed, in order to compare apples to apples, has to be 4 times the speed of the United States. Then we can do hoo-ha, hoo-ha. At this point in time, it's ra-ra-ra-ra. There's nothing special about this drive. We're a month late and woefully short of vaccines, woefully short of systems, and it's just headlines. You know, the vaccines, and that's the amazing part. The other thing that I found interesting, you know, this is what you have, right? In some cases, you'd love the literal numbers. The other cases, you want to deal with percentages. Mortality rate is really low. But here, in case of mortality rate, you should be dealing actually with actual numbers. No matter what the mortality rate in India, the actual numbers are high. They are so high that it's unbelievable. The other thing that's coming out is big news which says US exports ban is affecting India's vaccine production. Let me just tell you this. Poonawalla, in his interview to CNBC 18, clearly said that it's not Covishield that's affected as much as Novavax, which is yet to come in and which is anyway not destined for India. It's destined for the other Quad countries, folks. Did anybody know that? Right? The other point he made was, guys, things are not that bad. 71% cases are only in 5 states. Does that make a difference? Especially, folks, if they are the biggest states in the country: UP, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Maharashtra. And in 2 fronts, in Gujarat, in case of Maharashtra and Gujarat, they are India's economic engines. If they shut down, they contribute almost 50% of India's GST and income tax. What is going to happen to our economy? No, and forgets that. And then the other impact that has is that it goes into India's employment, right? Migrant laborers are rushing out. Guess from there, where are they rushing out? To Bihar, Rajasthan, UP. Things in all those states are anyway pathetically worse. And they're going to get absolutely much, much worse, right? Like I said, yesterday, Remdesivir truck was hijacked, right? Then you had obviously oxygen leaks, that's been headline news. Oxygen leaks killed 24 people in Nasik in Maharashtra. You have oxygen tanks being looted in daylight robbery in Madhya Pradesh. And this is the state that we have descended into, folks. And to then sugarcoat this whole thing, right? As if India is doing a really good job, is pathetic. His job is to analyze and tell us the truth, because this is what it is, right? Truth is world's worst outbreak. Why doesn't he tell us that? If he wants literal numbers, this is the number. But here, they'll all hide behind as a percentage of the total population. Won't you? Whatever your name is, I don't forget, right? Then we had reassuring the nation on COVID. PM Modi's speech should have provided both an action plan and a healing touch, and I told you it fell woefully short, and it was a damn squib. What does this say? The PM stressed on the role of states and society in managing the pandemic, especially its current way. Empowering states is good, But this must be done with adequate resources and a consultative spirit. And that didn't happen, folks. No consultation. Now he's washing his hands off. Asking citizens to be responsible is crucial, but this carries far more credibility when the political leadership itself is responsible and does not engage in reckless political rallies and enable large and potentially dangerous religious congregations. And folks, since most of our folks are illiterate, they're going to follow the leader, right? They're not going to listen to what he's saying, right? Then finally, too little, too late. President, PM express grief over loss of life. That's going to help. About vaccine, why we'll need to wait a few more months for vaccine supplies to improve. And this is what's important. By the time India officially ordered its first vaccines in January this year, others like the United States had already confirmed deals for more than 1 billion doses from 9 different manufacturers. The US began signing procurement deals as early as May 2020 and under Operation Warp Speed paid companies upfront to rapidly develop and scale up production of vaccines. The UK and EU also followed signed similarly. Where was India, folks? And like I said, 600 million are a number of people between 18 and 45. The doses we are going to need after May 1st, folks. And when you look at what Serum is saying and what you look at what Sputnik is saying, Sputnik ain't getting nothing till June, and Poonawalla is saying he can ramp up his production to 100 million a month by only in July. So it's a long wait. But on the other hand, Bangladesh seeks speedy delivery of vaccines. Let's hope this doesn't become a political football, because they do. Serum Institute, Covishield at 400 to states, 600 to private hospitals. I understand the 600 to private hospitals, but where I find it's diabolical is the states are having to pay 400 while the center pays 150, and that is, in my view, as this thing says, Serum lists one price for center, one for state government, unprecedented and unfair to states, and I think they may be totally right. That is, like I told you earlier, India urges US to lift ban on export of key products, but just to remember, they're trying to, I think they're building a case to suggest why, that's happening, right? But SII Chief Executive Adar Poonawalla told CNBC TV 18 on Wednesday that Covishield production is not likely to be hit, but its Novavax production is likely to be hampered. And that's the real truth, folks. And you got to remember that, right? Then I have this real nice note which says, I can't breathe. This is about Derek Chauvin's trial, where the cop put his foot to knee to the neck for 8 minutes and he couldn't breathe. But here, folks, India can't breathe. That guy has been charged for murder. Now the question is, who is going to be held responsible for India not breathing, and are they going to be charged for culpable homicide? 24 die after oxygen tank leak in Nasik Hospital. Oxygen prized possession as Haryana, Delhi trade charges. This is Vidge fellow, the health minister there, blocked oxygen to Delhi. O2 carriers get police cover after looting. This is what India has descended into, folks. Then somebody says, oh, that's true, India has enough oxygen, but transport a problem. This is INOX saying that. But then if that was the problem, we should have been on a war footing 8 months ago. The army should be called in. Now they get called in for every damn thing. They are the ASC is the best planning supply corps. Where are they? Right? 4 more states to give free vaccine for all adults. I would say, let me tell you, I don't know how many people know, the United States is the federal government is vaccinating everybody for free, and also people who are immigrants, non-immigrant visas, everybody. In India, also this was the responsibility of the central government. They fobbed it off to the state, and that totally at this stage is unfair, especially since they're not even giving them the GST share, right? 8 or 106 discrepancies in government Gurugram crematorium numbers. This is the other problem. So Gurugram's happening. I showed it to you, Madhya Pradesh is happening. I showed it to you, it's happening in Bihar, it's happening in Gujarat. All states, folks, you tell me. No proposal to club voting route, says panel. That's really sad. Merging 3 phases not feasible in Bengal, says election coming. And here, Surjit Palla, the biggest cheerleader. Why is he the cheerleader? Because he's been appointed by this government to be the IMF director in Washington, D.C. He's sitting fat and happy in Washington, D.C. He's been inoculated twice. But what does he say? Stop the blame game. There is less than limited evidence to suggest that electoral rallies resulted in spread of the pandemic. Till then, armchair experts should introspect and appreciate India's ability to conduct elections in a pandemic. Fun game. Somebody, oh man, I could wring his neck. He's the worst economist India's ever had anyway, or pretending, and now it's turning worse. What is a let's define essential list industry says? India Inc. scrambles to get staff vaccinated. You know, Sitaraman is just going to do talk. Let's come up with plans. Let's think of what's... No, let's wait. Then she's saying, let's wait and see what happens. God, we'll be dead and gone, folks. But BJP is a worried lot. In BJP rank and file, a worry. Phone calls pour in for pet cylinders can do little. They are in a worried lot, folks. And who are the other one? India's GDP at risk of falling back into negative territory. It's no longer dropping growth. We are going to go negative. Then what is that? A labor crisis looms again as workers return home. Like I said, the impact, while may be limited to a few states, is pan-India because of labor movement and migrants. Thousands of farmers headed for Delhi borders. Another big headache for this government. Well deserved. In second incident in 4 months, 3 ONGC men abducted in the same. Everything is not hunky-dory in the same, folks. And a fallout as far as global foreign policy is concerned. Japan PM calls off visit to India. So of course, Philippines too. But India is now in the junk heap. And do remember, time and timing is critical. If all these things can move 6 months, 7 months, but we would have lost the momentum, lost the plot, and lost visibility globally, folks. Cheers.